So practice lab essentially is just again, this is 3 points for you pretty much. The only thing I want you to do is to practice a little bit of our coding. Not even coding, it's like you're just running a code that I have pre-programmed for you. And you're running this down with me, you follow along, you get in the gist of what essentially is entailed in the exercise. Those of you that are in any way analytically inclined and think they may use it at one point in time, see this code really as a standalone sandbox that I'm placing in front of you, and you play around with it if you want to. I can guide you further. I happily make myself available for additional sessions if you want to learn some more about it. It's simple. You will not be asked more than basically submit an output of that R code. Before I go there, so there was some question concerning the homework. I just want to quickly go over this. So I'm going to be recording from now on. I was recording already. So essentially what's being meant with the homework. So there are two problems and they're quite comparable. And I have just got myself into some negotiations with the other class. You will not have to submit the actual calculations if you do the correct, notably correct functions. It's fine. I still recommend you do the actual calculations, but with the functions alone, it's fine. So what you essentially do, you do nothing else but a frequency table that essentially comprises of all entries. So you have here this little data series that essentially contains semester information, biological sex, exam 1, 2, and 3. And all you need to do is to do 3 different frequency tables for each exam, each one. And you basically do a frequency tables for these categories that are pre-defined here, which are 5 different categories. You do a frequency count, you calculate the proportions. The proportions are tricky because the proportions you need to understand the numerator and the denominator. The numerator are the respective entries in that group. The denominator is the overall sample size in that group that you're looking at. So if you are asked for overall, your denominator are all the students. If you're being asked for denominator of only those sexes that are being defined for males and for females, you only take these that are in the actual sex category. Yes. Yes, but carefully percentage. So you need to multiply it by 100. So we want a percentage, not a proportion. Yes.
Do you want us to submit the Excel sheet with only the equations, not the numbers? Like let's say we submit, like let's say we just.
Nope. I want to see the functions.
Only the functions?
No, you want no like the numbers and the functions.
You only want me to set like do like count if like you only want to see like the equations. You don't want to see any numbers.
No, I want to see the numbers and the equations underlying that count. Well, if you're only counting, then yeah, there's not
like
really.
If I send you an Excel sheet and if you click on the number, it tells you the equation. That's good.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, for the counting, it's a little hard because there you actually need to physically count, right? But yeah, for the other things, I definitely want to see the equations. Yeah, I want to see that it's not just copy paste. So. But yeah, hypothetically, if you want to do it by hand on a sheet of paper, fine with me too. But then show me the calculations, please. Yeah, I assume a minority will do it on paper. Although I've seen it. Okay, any questions to that? So it's basically both problems are the same outline. This is just basically, I want to see that you get in principle how to approach data. And you're not falling into the traps that come along with putting that together. So it's basically nothing else than what we have done in classes. So just you have all the spreadsheets, you basically know the exercise. It's just bringing into practice what we have done in class, and it's a simple first start. Gets a little trickier, but yeah. So this is the homework. And then it's just really, for today, it's really just a practice lab. And that is going to be considerably simpler. So we're going on module 6. And we're clicking here on practice lab 1 completed.r. So in the beginning, when I started this exercise, I wanted to do it to actually code it in class and give insights in any line. I realized that this is not easily doable. And so I really stepped away from that. And I give you this as kind of a class present. In case you want to utilize it, you will find the codes packed into these codes that we will do 5 times throughout the semester. You will find them helpful. These are codes essentially when colleagues approach me that learn how to code R, I send them my practice lab.
Wait,
And they
have it.
yes, it's in module 6.
Oh, complete.
Yep. So take this, download this code, please, and put it in the respective folder.
When I try to submit it, it says that Canvas cannot be displayed. It can't be displayed. If I have on, how do I submit it after?
We haven't even started yet. Do you want to submit already? You've done it? Yes. So you have on the assignment, if you go, if you click on assignments, there should be practice lab 1 accessible for you. Then you basically click on practice lab 1 and there's start assignment. And this will allow you to upload a file. And this is the deliverable we're going to work towards today. So I understand that many of you may not be inclined to learn our coding. I think it's a missed opportunity, but please move along with what we're doing. Earn those 10 points. It's going to be simple as very simple. So basically, open our studio, please. You go on File, Open File. And that's when you're going to access on the desktop that folder that we have created. Copy your code, please, in module 6. I think there's value to organize yourself in these folders. If you have them in module 6, you know that this contains your practice lab, and this will align with your syllabus. There's value to that. So if you click on the completed code now, so there are now all the examples that we have done. Yes.
Sorry,
How does it look like? So you're in R, you're not in R Studio.
That's just what the
No, yeah. So we're first opening our studio, and we're opening it then from our studio. That's easier to handle. So this is R. Yeah. So do you have the completed file?
Mine is like this.
It just completed.
This is also R and not R Studio.
Oh, I was just R and not R.
No, you need to open our studio.
How can I tell if it's the completed one?
By the file name.
Yeah.
Up here you see the file name.
Yeah, it does it.
Yeah. This is module 6.
Oh.
Yep, that was the charity navigator, right?
No, sorry, for the R code, you use module 5.
Well, this is contained in this one. So we did a little bit of R playing last time, right? So it is contained in this. Module 5 essentially is this example here. That's the charity navigator. Remember where we calculated the averages at the standard deviations? We're going to revisit this code now. The code that was posted in the context of module 5 is essentially consistent with this code here. It basically just creates the charity navigator score data set. Okay, I hope all of you have now R Studio open, and then from R Studio go on File and open this spreadsheet, that code that you have just downloaded and placed in your respective module folder. So what?
How do you go from the R console to the R studio?
Well, it's a separate application. You need to start it from your applications folder on your Mac. You're on Mac, yeah.
Wait, which barcode are we gonna put in?
The completed.
It's already in there now.
Yeah, you
Should I press
see.
run?
Yes, very soon. Very soon. Yes, that's okay.
I opened our studio. Right. Now what do I do?
Yes, so we go on File, and we open the completed code that you have just downloaded from Canvas.
Existing project.
No, you have downloaded the code from Canvas, right? Yeah, just open this. Go on File, Open File, and open this code. So what you see then in front of you essentially, so we have talked already briefly about this function, which basically clears the environment from any objects that are contained in the environment. You're deleting all of this. You're clearing whatever may be there as a remnant from previous classes. So now what we have on line 6, so we have in between. So you're running, and just as a recap, you run a line by pressing Control and Enter. Control and Enter runs the respective line, and you will see it automatically jumps from one line to the next line. That's anyone. Line 2, if you press Control and Enter, will jump automatically on line 4.
Wait,
What?
yeah.
If you go on line 2 and you press Control and Enter, will automatically jump on line 4, indicating that it ran line 2. And line 2 is just basically discarding everything from the environment. It empties it. Yep. It's yep. So that's a good sign, because rm list equals ls means it removes everything out of the environment. ls being a command showing everything in the environment. So now you have in line 4, you have something that is called a comment. Everything that contains a hashtag, and you run Control and Enter.
From which line you just control?
Line 4.
I'm on 7.
Yep. Now it automatically jumps on line 7, because line 4 and line 5, you have a hashtag at the beginning. This hashtag indicates to R that it should not run this line. So whenever you see code in front of you and it contains the hashtag, it's not going to run this line. This is basically just a comment reminding yourself, your future self, what to do with the following code. So it's a note to self. Yes. Okay, that's fine, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't run any code as soon as there's a hashtag in the beginning.
The red code for me, it says 24 hours, 3 variables.
This one, yes.
But isn't that other?
No, that's fine.
I'm realizing I think I'm looking at a different practice, like where I do.
Did you load from module 6?
Yeah. This is module 6 for the practice system.
This is practice lab 1, data frame building. That's the wrong one. You need the completed one. There's another one that is called completed.
I'm really sorry. How do I go from here?
You're in R, not in R
I
studio.
know, but I keep
Okay.
opening our studio.
I know,
and
it just
brings
if
me
you
back
have
to
R,
that.
it stays in R.
Okay.
It doesn't.
So you didn't
back-
install R studio.
I
That's okay.
have it.
I
It just
also have that.
doesn't let me do it. I just had it open and then
Okay.
it just closes it. I have the thing. I have it.
Yeah,
It's just automatic.
R studio every class also.
Hmm?
I have to download R studio every class also.
Then, so if you just no.
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 Okay, just try to drag it into the applications folder.
Okay.
Can you try the same?
Yeah.
Just drag it in the applications folder. Then it's going to load it into. Just drop it.
Okay.
Now it's going to store it. Now double click. Okay, so now it's doing that twice. Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. One, just kill and stop. Stop.
Okay.
Replace. So once this is installed, less than a minute. Well, just a second. step by step.
Is it gonna make me do this every single time now?
Shouldn't.
It's just.
Okay, so now click on the applications folder. So now you should have RStudio. We'll scroll down. No,
Here.
RStudio, yeah, double click that. Open.
Because it's been on our studio before, so I don't know why it's not to understand.
Works for you? Are you?
Yeah, no, I just don't. Like,
Yeah, you're in R2. So you need to install RStudio. Okay, that's good.
So how do I open it up?
So now you go on. Now you go on File, 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 Open File. Now you open that file that you just downloaded from Canvas. Yeah.
Install. During the minute.
Okay, so now you have RStudio file, and now just open the file that you just downloaded from Canvas that you opened in
but it's not copying that. I pressed file.
file. Yeah. Yeah, this is the wrong file. It's the completed file from module 6. No, Canvas, Canvas. You need to download the correct file from module 6, which is called completed. Practice lab 1 completed. Okay. So in line 6, we have now a command that essentially builds the data frame that many of you have seen already. It is 24 observations over 3 variables. So this is, usually you wouldn't do that. I have done that specifically because I want you to have a standalone code that you can use to re-download. If you change something, you can just re-download the same thing. You just play around with it. It's, as said, it's a sandbox in which you cannot do any harm. You always have a functioning version. Just play around with it. Have a look at it. If you click on it here on the side, yes.
What does number 6 do?
It builds that data frame here on the right, which you have now in your environment. So if you click now on this little icon on the right, did you run line 6?
Yeah.
Now you have it. So if you click on that little icon here on the right, it basically opens up the data frame that looks in essence pretty much like an Excel spreadsheet. And it basically has 3 labeled comments, which are the 3 variables contained in your object. These 3 variables you can address individually. You can say, for example, ls, which is list, df, m2. That gives you just the name of these 3 variables. So basically it gives you a list of variables contained in your object. You can address the entire data frame by just saying df, m2. That will basically do nothing else but call this data frame and show you how it looks like.
Wait, so where do we just get?
Line
Down
7.
here on the console?
Line 7.
Do you want us to do that or you're just?
Yep. No.
Line 7, what's the red?
Walk along. So if you do control enter on line 7, it will show you the data frame, how it looks like.
Right.
How do I get from the Excel, the beginning that looks like Excel back?
You have this organized here in tabs. You can switch from one tab to another tab.
So on line 7, we have to just press enter.
Control enter.
Also, when I did ls, it wrote up error in as environment. I got an error with
Yep.
the ls.
So you can do, if you just do ls and parentheses,
Yeah, on line.
it gives you whatever is contained in the environment. So here's only one object in the environment. So this is this environment. If you do lsdfm2, it gives you whatever is contained in this object. So basically it just gives, sure. It basically, ls is just giving you a list of things involved dfm2. Oh, no, don't change up the, don't change the existing code. No. do not change the existing code, but rather make an enter and build a new aspect. So you can.
All you have to do is press enter.
Yeah, and then you can type in the empty line. You can type any modifications that you want to have. So the beauty of this is now that in the object you can now address these sub-objects. So if you just want to have one of your variables displayed, you have dfm2 $congruent, which is line 8, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, you just rerun along with the previous codes. Don't change it for now. Okay. You can just click if you want to do modifications. You can always just go in the console, and you write ls dfm2. You can do modifications down here in the console. That's easier. Don't change the script. Okay, so dfm2 congruent will only run these variables in the object, right? So it will basically address, yes. If then you need to define your shortcuts. You can also select, or you go on that respective line and you click on run here on the right top. Same thing. Are you in our studio? Okay, good. So just click on run here on the right. I don't know why it looks different. I would need to look at that. Run here on the right top does the same thing. It's the same concept.
It does what?
It does the same thing. Control enter.
Well, mine is like number 2, number 3, number 4. Like yours doesn't have numbers before.
Yes, there are numbers too here on the side.
I'll show you.
Sure.
Like right here. It has number 3.
Oh yeah, this one doesn't.
But no, they
Yeah,
all
but you're always in the wrong. You're still in the same data one. Yes, you need to complete it from module 6. Module 6, if you click down in the main lecture, you have a completed. No, that's the wrong one.
Okay.
I programmed it, I know. So it's just in module 6 in the main lecture, you have the module. It's fine. Yes, that's one where you built the data frames. The completed one is in the main lecture. Yes.
So typing in that part in at the bottom is the same thing as if you would have done it on the top, you just press enter.
Yes. The problem is you're not saving it. In the script, you have like a permanent record of what you ran, right? That's why I like to work in the script rather than in the console. But if you just want to try, a little command quickly, you just type it in the console.
So
but
now that we just type that in, or that's fine?
No, in the console, that's fine. It will still have ramifications. So if you change something in your data frame, this is still happening because the console is what basically works. That's actually the working processor. That's the core piece. The script is just basically a data repository. That's basically like where you save your functions and you basically put your code in. Yes.
What does
LS gives you an overview of either the environment, or if you clarify ls dfm2, it gives you an overview of what is contained in that object.
What's the overview?
So in Excel, it gives you a list of headers. It gives you the name of the headers. Remember the headers? It's like a variable. It gives you a list of variables contained in the object.
Why would I want
Because you want to know what variables are contained in your data frame. So if you run ls dfm2, it gives you those 3 variables. Yes.
What do I do about all the errors?
Which errors do you have?
I have like
7.
Yeah.
That's a lot of errors. Okay. So there, yeah. So you didn't.
Like I can't even.
Yeah. So if you run this here, this still runs, right? So if you do ls here, it doesn't give you an error. If you say the lsdfm2, it doesn't give you an error.
So
Okay.
what was the
No,
problem?
you had typos in there.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay, good. Any other questions? Yes. Yes.
I also got an error. I don't know.
You have a typo?
I wrote in the ls with parentheses, and then it came up the bracket 1 df_m2. And
Okay.
then I ran line 7, and then it gave me an error.
Well, you got to be careful because if you have, so one error doesn't matter because as soon as you press enter and there's one error and that an error doesn't do anything. If it gives you an error, that's like a blank. That's nothing. So, but if you repeat it, you want to write the right code. So if you want to run after an error, you want to run the right line. You just go back to that line and you press Control Enter again.
Oh, so it wasn't supposed to be line 7?
I don't know what you did specifically. I would need to look at it, but I think it's fine. If you also go in the console and you press Escape, it deletes everything you wrote. Then you can just start it from scratch again.
Okay.
Yes.
I am a couple steps behind.
You
A couple steps behind.
how many in total? Okay. Did you start RStudio?
Yeah,
Did you download the code,
yes,
the right code,
yes,
completed?
I think so.
Is the code completed?
What?
Is the code completed?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Did you open it in RStudio?
yes.
Good. Why are you behind them? Just run line 1 to 7 and you caught up. Control Enter runs line by line by line.
Yeah,
Just catch up to line 7 and you're good.
okay, I'm at line 7 now.
Hmm?
I'm at line 7, now what do I do?
Perfect. Control Enter. Did you run everything in between?
Yeah.
So you have this.
Okay.
No, you need to press Control Enter in each line
Yeah.
to run each line. With each line, something is happening.
Yeah.
If it's hashtagged, nothing is happening. On line 6, for example, it builds your object that comes into your environment now on the right. And with all the other following commands, it will do something else. So for line 8, for example, okay, let's align again as a class. Line 8 addresses only variable congruent in your data frame. Line 9 only lines up incongruent. Line 10 counts it. You remember how it was like this count function in Excel, where we had to count the number of occurrences for our frequency table, for example? This is length. Length counts the length of such data series. The same.
Are you entering all these lines right now? Like you,
I press Control Enter. I'm just standing here pressing Control Enter and rambling around.
For the edge of the line, or can I just do it from the top?
You do it from top. I just do it from top. So this is Control Enter, right? Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter.
Why is the error?
Hypothetically, or do you have an error? What error do you have?
Yeah,
Hmm? It doesn't like you? Okay. All right, good.
I keep getting so close, and then you move on, and it stops working.
Well, that's the nature of the class, right? Okay, yeah, you didn't load that line 6. You're missing line 6. So R perfectly likes you. You just didn't give it data to process.
Until like 12.
Line 12 is good. We're going to continue on line 12 in a second. All right, good. Okay, one after another. Line 12, yes. Control Enter, yes. Good. Short answer, yes. You what? Okay. That's a fundamental problem. Okay, good. RStudio is working. You downloaded the code. Okay, and did you download the code from module 6?
Yeah.
You know where it is. And if you, okay, good. That's a fundamental problem. Let's try to solve this quick.
I keep downloading this code from module 6.
Okay. Yeah, don't double click it.
What?
You don't double click it. So you click on RStudio. Yep, file. Open file. And now you click it.
But it's not.
It's not there. Yeah, that's why I said
It's not coming out.
it's also the wrong code. Okay, Canvas, you download completed.
Not that, this is from module 6 that article completed.
Okay, yep,
This one I downloaded
This
it
one?
10 times.
and where is it?
Right here.
Yeah, don't, no. Okay, find it in Finder, where is it now? Physically,
On downloads.
no, in downloads, yeah, where's downloads? Click on Finder. No, no, no.
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, just close. Yeah, okay. That doesn't help at this point. Okay, good. Downloads. Okay, so somewhere in here is your completed. That's the completed. And you don't download it, you open it with files. Just like I showed you.
That's part of the lab.
Okay, good. Maxine, please.
How do you delete code, like code that you put in? Like I remember.
From the console, you mean? From here?
Yeah.
Control L.
Control L.
Yes.
But I just select it and then Control L.
No, you don't need to. You just click here on the console. You press Control L. It all disappears.
Oh, but
It clears automatically?
Here's the console. Just clears the console entirely, but the data frame is still there. So this is just clearing the history on the console.
Okay, but is it a problem if I ran 6, but then I forgot to run 7? So I did 6, 7, I did it again, is it a problem?
That's, well, 6, so there's a chronological order. So you need to run 6 first to have the data frame, right?
So I did it again, but it happens twice.
That's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. You overwrite whatever you load new. So you're overwriting the old one. That's fine.
So if mine's out of order, I should just do it in
Correct.
order?
Correct. That's the beauty of the script, because you basically can retrace every step and you can do every step again.
How do I delete this?
What she was first, sorry?
Control.
Yes.
The first thing I do is I do Control Enter on 6.
Control Enter on 6. 6 is really the most important code, because this is where you build that data frame.
And then I press the same beside it.
You can do that and look at the actual data object, yes.
Matter.
You don't have to, no. You don't have to, because everything we're doing now, we're doing with the actual file without looking at it.
So as long as it's like on the side, it's fine.
Yep, That's fine. Yep. As long as it's in the environment. Yes, please.
How do we have, are we gonna need to know like what each, like control each one does?
Oh, well, I'm not going to quiz you on it. So you will see in the code. So if you're interested and you want to dig in deep into it and understand it, it's very self. Yes, I see the shape. For the test, no, there's no test on R. There's no, for the practice lab, no, you just submit what we are running now. I just, no, you're fine. You don't need to learn coding. It's like, I'm not that terrible, but no, you don't need to, don't worry. I just want you to have this code. That's the only reason we're doing this exercise. So some of you may go on and actually do data analysis. And yeah, I know actually a few of you who did. So some of your former colleagues who went through my class. So many of them actually were very happy about this exercise.
I
So
reviewed my whole thing and then I reread all of it.
you rerun the whole of it, and I will show you exactly how to produce the deliverable, and you can submit it by the end of this class.
So, but like, if I just cleared it a minute ago, then I reread it,
It will, yeah. If you downloaded the right file. Yes.
the right bottom left console, I'm not able to type it.
That's interesting. Did you click on it?
Scroll to the bottom.
Left button?
Then I can select.
Yeah, right there.
Where the cursor is.
Yeah, you're just all the way up. You're typing already.
No, but how do I remove it? Like I ran it twice and it's not.
Yeah, but you need to run it up there. With Control L.
Right, and I.
With Control L, you delete the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I can rerun it.
So now you're back at starting run. We got it?
Yeah. But
Yeah. See, perfect. No. No.
I'm not here.
Don't worry. It's not even coding. Okay, file, open file. So now we need the practice lab, which is in your downloads folder somewhere. Now we need to complete it. There is one that is completed, which I downloaded earlier. Oh, yeah, perfect. That's it.
What's this one?
That's the right one.
Already read 4 and 7.
Yeah, just, you don't need this one anymore. You don't need this one. Okay, you don't need this one. All right, so you got the
I
right
have a
one.
question. Is this like what we're doing right now?
This is-
Practice lab and practice submit?
Yes.
It's just a practice lab.
No, that's a practice lab I submitted.
So
I make it as easy for you to gain 10 points, right?
Like what are you looking for us to submit? Just like.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're still. I'm sure you are. I can tell. Okay, I have 90 more minutes to torture with this. Okay, good. All right, so we are now on DFM2,
What number line?
12. DFM2 with dimensions, we're getting the dimensions of this data frame. It's 24 observations, 3 variables. Yes. Control Enter. So
What happens to the correct control answer on 13?
nothing, because it's hashtagged.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting, the exercise becomes again interesting, and this is basically what I see as the function here. I want you to understand what can be done when you have a basic understanding of this code. So for the homework, the thing that you're going to hate the most is like doing the counting, because you need to order and you need to count and you need to build averages of something where you have a subselection of no, don't worry. But you have to calculate something from a subfraction of data points, and you only have a certain selection of those. So if you look at this code, what it says is you have DFM2 congruent and only, and this is what the bracket indicates, only show me those which are greater than 15 seconds. So basically what that does, and this is now where the beauty is of R. So if you say DFM2 congruent and I run this, I get here all numbers. If I only want a subset of that, like line 15, I only get those that are greater than 15. So if I want to put this into practice now, and I'm only doing this here in the console, I can calculate the mean using a function R called mean. And I just do mean parentheses congruent. It will give me a mean of this variable. If I do the same exercise with this specification that I only want those that are greater than 15, like I indicated here in line 15, you only get a mean of those that are greater than 15.
So we have to color the mean ourselves, like we have to write out mean of DSM one.
No, you don't have to do it. So it's an exercise. It's an exercise you would do, and only do it in the console. Don't do it in the script. I'm just showing you how you can bring this into actual practice, because you have a variable and you only want the mean or any characteristic, any sums or means or averages, standard deviations, you name it, and you want to restrict it only to a little part of it. And this is like here, we're only looking at 24 observation. Imagine you have a data file with, for your master thesis or whatsoever with like 150 entries, and you only want females. This is one line of code for you. And this is where it's becoming useful, right? And this is where I think it will be useful for you moving forward. That's why I'm standing here and doing this exercise with you. Yes, sorry, she was first.
I got a warning message.
Well, I'm not surprised. Okay. What does it say?
In the default, argument is not exactly logical.
Okay, then just go back to the previous line and run the previous line. It's just some syntax error.
13.
Yeah, just rerun it again from 6 all the way to 13. It should work now. Yes.
Do you want to explain what you did for 14?
14 and 15. 14 and 15 is essentially, 14 is hashtagged out. That's just a comment. 15 is a subspecification of what you actually want to load. So if you say DFM2 congruent, it will give you the entire variable, all 24 observations. If you in bracket write, I only want congruent that is greater than 15, you only get a subset of those that are greater than 15. And this is just great because you can specify whatever you want to specify in there, which essentially makes your analysis much easier and much faster and much more efficient. So it's really R is an efficiency tool because everything you write here makes your life just much faster and easier.
So we go to like line 15, we have to write that one up.
You would write this up there and you can hear, so you can, let's say you want a mean or a standard deviation of only those entries that are greater than 15. You would write here mean of this because this is exactly your subspecification. That's exactly that variable. Yeah? Yes.
So for me, if you just copy and paste that line,
You can copy and paste that line.
Like, did that, like, I was confused.
So if you copy paste, if you want to try this out, just write mean, parentheses, copy that line in and close the parentheses, and then just run it. That's the mean.
I copy and paste the line of 15.
Yeah, copy line 15 down in the console. Write mean in parentheses. So the syntax for the mean is this: mean parentheses, one before, one after,
And then you press enter.
and then in between you can write mean 2, 3, 4, 5. This is mean. This is how you calculate the mean, and R will process everything which is
congruent.
exactly. If you pull this in there, you just you can calculate the mean of whatever, right? Okay, so let's move on quickly. We have 12 more minutes. So this is 16. This is calculation of the length. So it gives you the number of entries that are greater than 15. So this is how you do the counts, right? So it's same principle in essence. Yes.
So we didn't do the mean part in the top. We still want it in our practice lab to see if we do the mean part.
Don't do it in the script. Do it in the console only. Make sure that the script remains intact.
How many different mean ones do you want us to do? We did like.
You can just copy paste it down. You can do.
You want the mean for the congruent and the incongruent?
Yes. So it's easily done. Look, if you really want to practically do that, you go line 15 and 16. You press Control C. You go at the end. You press Enter, and you just copy this down to 17 and 18, and you just write mean in front of it. That's exactly that calculation, right? And it's easy manipulation. It's just you just need to quickly alter this. You can also individualize. You remember how we did soft code and hard code? I was referring to that because basically we are defining a criterion and we're referring, when we pull down, it refers to the mean and we lock that mean in. You remember the $$ in Excel? So this is soft coding in R. You assign a value to a sub-object, which basically from then on, threshold shall be known as 12. And you can do the same. So now it's 12. And it's here on the right, it's defined as 12. You can now go on the same exercise then with the 15. And you basically do the same thing, but now you say it needs to be greater than threshold. And it will automatically recognize the threshold is 12, and it will give you whatever is greater than 12. So you quote unquote soft code, because you're coding it in a separate variable, and you can alter this variable, and that will affect this stratification. I know this is all a little abstract to you right now, but it's the way to go, essentially to get a foot into analytic coding. Yes.
They came up as 112.23.
So you have 1 and 14.
Line 16. This here?
Yeah, like this is something, it's like the numbers in the brackets on the side are 1 and 14.
Oh,
My brackets are 1 and 12.
yeah, this is because you just, I extended it differently. So if you spread this apart, it will also change to 1 to 14. That's just a placeholder. It just gives you the number of entries. That's fun. Okay, so here's the exercise with the mean. So here's mean 27, 28 is mean congruent, incongruent. 29 is now, and now it becomes interesting because now we're moving towards hypothesis testing. Yes, control enter all the way down to 29. So this is now a calculation. So you're basically calculating the mean of incongruent minus the mean of congruent. And this is which we will essentially do for hypothesis testing where we're comparing two means. So this will come your way, calculations like that. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do a little different. So this is the volcano data set. We have now the same exercises with the volcanoes, which we did our frequency tables on. Same data set, I digitalized it for you. Here it's a little different. We're going to do the frequency.
Just get that clear.
Line 33.
Yeah, line 33 says gold data.
Okay, then line 34.
Uh,
Should say something with data frame, DFM3 data frame.
yeah.
So this is,
Copy and paste the whole by 34 and
no, just press Control Enter.
Oh, at the end of 34.
No, right in the middle of it. You just go into the line, you press Control Enter, it automatically creates this data frame for you. Should be up in your environment now.
Okay, yeah.
So now if you do a frequency table, this is line 36. It creates a little frequency table here for you. So this is if you were interested to do your homework in Excel, this is where you would create your frequency table. So this is the frequency table we created in class with Excel. We're basically populating this now. So this 4 is a so-called iterative loop. You don't need to know how to program this. This is basically clicking on the right lower corner and propagating a formula down 17 times. That's basically the written format of it. So you click on that whole thing, you select from 38 to 43, you press Control Enter. Now you essentially have the frequency table that we have, bless you, completed in class. You have that now calculated now. So R is doing that for you. So it's a fun code, right? It's like if you want to play around with code, like that's the
I
code.
don't have like that, those types of, like I don't have like that clear, I don't have that table, I don't have that, how that like works.
What's good?
Meaning like the last things that I have are these lines.
Okay, if you go on line 38, there's 4 I in something, I in 17.
No, line 38, 17. Oh,
Yep.
line 39. Okay,
If
yeah.
you run 38 to 43, select this 38 to 43
Yeah.
and run. Oh, did you run this one 36? Run
36 is a.
36 is the frequency table that creates the framework of the table.
36 is a hashtag.
Okay, then it's 37.
37. Okay, yeah, I just ran 37.
Yeah, now you have frequency table here.
Yeah.
Now you run 38 to 43. That populates your frequency table. Just select the whole thing and run it.
Thank you.
Yes.
My thing is these two others, it's like 1 and then says 1, then says 1, then says 2, then says 1.
Did you, okay, so you have frequency table, you ran that. Did you run 38 to 43 there?
Yeah, and then when I do that, something weird happens.
No? Okay, just press Control A.
A,
Control A, and select everything down to frac table on 43. That it looks like this. You have that? Everything above that. And now press Control and Enter. And now it works. So it's a standalone code, so you can rerun the whole thing anytime. Yes, I don't know who was first. Okay. Okay, that's a problem. Do you want to look at it after? It's a, okay, did you run this line? I don't think so. Yeah, run the whole thing. Do the same thing as we just did. Control A until 43
Yeah.
and rerun the whole thing. Not work. Yeah? That's the beauty of a standalone code. That's why I programmed it that way.
But I don't understand what the part in between is then.
I don't know why it didn't work, but that's a problem. Like with the troubleshooting, there's something off somewhere. There's a typo, a comma wrong or something.
When I submitted it, should I submit it with a problem?
Yeah, actually, we're getting closer now. We have 3 minutes left. Okay, so good. So we're going now DFM4, same thing, line 47. We're running that code. We get DFM4. We can now look at our first plot. This is line Control Enter. Line 53 creates now your first plot. This is the athletic performance plot that we have created in class.
To get that.
Line 53.
How do you make it larger?
It just
You
says
can
55.
you click here. Once you have the code, you click on zoom, and it zooms it out. You can export this thing. You can export this thing as an image. You can save it as a PDF. You can do whatever with it. Yes.
Command E said?
Command E? No. Command A. Okay, so that's the plot. Okay, last DFM5 Charity Navigator score. We get a beautiful little histogram within 2 seconds. This is the histogram. You can export this automatically as a PDF file. You get a summary. Summary is now giving you min, max, first quartile, third quartile, mean, median, all that beautiful metric that we have calculated in Excel. Last time with quantile, you get the actual quantiles, summary, and here you can calculate the range by calculating min minus max. That's the range. And that's it. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, we're pressing now. We click on the console. We're pressing Control and L. We're clearing it all.
Whoa. Can you go back? I want to.
You'll see. No, just delete it all. Delete it all. Redo it with the lecture recording.
What line were you supposed to go up to? Wait, what line were you supposed to go up to?
We're at the end of the class. Let's.
What line were you supposed to go up to?
Well, here then 70 is the last line. That's all. This is exactly. This 70 lines replicate what we did over the last 5 modules in this class. 70 lines. Well, it's different, right? It's different. It makes it easier. It's a learning curve, and you're not liking it at first, but at the end of the day, if you embark on it, you're gonna love it. I promise you. I'm programming this stuff since 14 years now, and I can't imagine an analytic life without it. Okay, so now we went on the console, we pressed Control L, it's empty. We go back to our script, left upper quadrant, we press Control A. We're pressing Control and Enter.
Wait, what? How'd you select everything?
Control and A, like Adam.
That doesn't happen when I press controller.
You're on Apple. Sorry, Apple uses Command A. Yes. Control Enter. We're running this whole thing. It's a standalone code. It will run exactly what we just did over the last hour. Now you go in the console, and you have this on lecture recording to reproduce it if you don't follow along. You scroll all the way to the beginning of this code in the console. You go before the first hashtag, and you just go slowly selecting the whole thing. You run this all down, and you're selecting all of this. up until the last line. You press Command and C or Control and C for Windows users. You go on the Spotlight or text edit or in the folder for Windows users. You enter text edit. That's the software we want to have. Text edit from the Spotlight will prompt you and ask you what you want to do. You click on New Document.
Wait, where we go?
Text edit from the Spotlight. You click on New Document.
Okay, could you go
Text.
back to the spotlight?
Text edit.
It's just your search in your map.
Text edit.
Where the top of it.
So now you get a little thing open. You go on New Document. You press Command and V or Control and V for the Windows user. This is displaying all that code that you just ran. You go on File, Save. You go in the respective folder of today's module. You label this with the course number, STAT1021G, hyphen your family name, and what else? Practice Lab 1.
So are we copying what's in the console or what's in the?
Console.
Okay.
Console. Otherwise, you're just sending me my script back.
How do you get from like the top to get something in the console?
Spotlight. Text edit. Oh, what do you want from the console?
No, like I have stuff here, but not
Yeah.
here. How do you?
Control Enter
And is that all that we submit?
or Command Enter. Sorry for you, it's Command Enter.
Is that all that we submit?
Hmm?
For the practice lab, is that all we submit?
You save this, you submit this.
You want
That's the
us to- you
deliverable.
want us to submit this from today?
Yes.
And are you gonna post this recording?
Yes.
Wait, what are we doing?
Okay. You were first. No, we go from the back. Sorry, you were first. Spotlight on Windows. So you go in your Windows folder, you make a right click, you go on new text file. Do you find the text file?
Let's start assignment.
No, a text file.
Yeah.
Did we text on it?
Yep, new text document, exactly. Yeah, just go in the folder. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, module 6. That's fine. And just go anywhere. Just go anywhere. No. Yeah, okay, good.
Whatever.
Right click. New. Text document. Here we go. Yes. What you were first?
So I finished it, but then I did Command L
Command L in the console. Click on the console.
here.
Command L. Oh, Control L. Now Command A. And Control. And that copy in the text document. Yeah, you need to select the whole thing and copy it in a text document. No, not that one. No, not the folders. Don't bother. No, you want this one. You want this one.
What do I do?
I forgot to do it.
Well, you select the whole thing.
Is it the same thing if you go onto Google Docs and then you press file and then download and then as plain text? Is that the same thing?
It should be the same thing. Yes, same thing. Same thing. Yeah, works.
How do I send this to you?
Hmm?
How do I send this to you?
You will upload it on Canvas for the assignment.
Finished, can we go?
Have a good one.
Okay, question.
Okay, we solved?
So wait, no.
No.
I select it like this.
I don't understand.
Yes.
And then what?
Command C. And now you open a text edit file.
What's the text edit file?
Spotlight text edit.
Okay, wait, 2 questions. First of all, is there a possibility like this is wrong or it's 100% right?
If it's my code, it's 100% right.
Or how do I know that I did it right? If I put in the initial first one and it's 100% right?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, is this the right one that I ended up doing?
Completed, yep.
Wait, so what do I do with this now?
So you press Control L. You did all of this?
I did that.
Yeah, then select the whole thing.
With top and this clear.
Thank you.
Wait,
Bye-bye.
I only selected the bottom
Select this.
with the clear part.
You just need the bottom button. Yes. You need to select it gently, smoothly, going carefully down. Carefully done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just let that happen. Then you press Command C,
Okay. And then text edit.
text edit. Yeah. Did you customize your selection?
What?
So when you select something in the console, did you customize this yourself? But it's pink.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Now seen that. Okay, new text document. New text document. Okay, Command V. Good. And that's save course name, course number, family name, and
Okay,
practice
But
lab
the
one.
thing is,
Wait,
that
what do
I-
we say
that I
with
want
all
to clarify.
Course number, family name,
Like I write
practice
it
lab
on
one.
top?
No, you save it. Go on File. Save. In your folder.
Right.
Statistics, yeah, fair. Okay,
Try
course
to-
number, family name, practice lab one.
So statistics.
My thing is
G.
that,
Practice lab one. Good.
Statistics G.
And then my last name?
Course number
what's the first number?
1021.
How do you like this?
Yes, and then lastly, practice lab one. Commas won't be saved
How do I know though for sure that like this is that what you have?
because you downloaded the same thing.
So there's no way I could have messed it up. None, right? So it's for sure right. So this, then I just submit it. Okay, we're on the same page.
We're on the same page. Yes, wonderful.
I can save it and submit this,
You saved it, yeah.
and I can submit it now, like I'm done.
Correct. You're welcome.
Once I press Control A, and then I go here, there's nothing for.
Nah. So if you want Control A, no, you just need Control Enter now.
Oh, I don't know. Control A.
That's the whole, yeah, that's the whole thing.
And then I
Alright.
copy and paste this into the text. document.
Correct, yes. Text document in the module folder, and then you get,
So we
yes.
ran the whole, we selected the whole entire top part and we ran it at the bottom and then we just copy and paste it into like.
The bottom and in the text file, and then submit.
And that's
That is 10 points right there. You're welcome.
Okay, great.
All right, good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You too.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Oh, yeah, you had some fundamental problem. Hmm?
Let's do on Wednesday.
This is, I guess so, yeah, 922. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I fixed it before, but after, if this is the last thing I have, I mean, it's an error, but like, I don't know what to do after this.
So, look. So what happened here is, what is this? Oh, you're in the wrong file. Okay. This is the file we worked on. Okay. So we were here. This is this. That's a frequency table, for example.
And then how do I get the chart?
The what? The chart. So you go here on DFM4. That's the athletic performance stuff. You remember? That's plot 53. It's a plot function that basically will now create this plot for you. So that's the plot. So if you click on zoom, you get this whole thing out. Now you could hypothetically, you could save it as, let's say, save image as. You could save it as a, I don't know. You could save it as a PDF, an image.
And this is what I'm like, how do I do that?
Why can I find?
Well, that's, well, okay, let me finish the recording. You have it as a recording, right? So you can just easily, you can easily reproduce this via the recording.